Rashida Strober is the only person in the world to focus exclusively on dark skin and has been doing so since 1998, as demonstrated by a 20-year body of work. Meet the founder and inventor of the first movement in history for dark skin, Rashida Strober, the world's first dark skin activist, founder of dark skin activism created in 1998. She's interviewed in Harlem after her show on the Dark Skin Activist Tour.
All right, so I am here with Rashida Strober, finally getting a chance to meet her face to face. We have, she's been on my show twice. Yep. Me and Unique. Yep. Unique should be logging on soon. And, you know, there were a few people that didn't get a chance to hear the interview, but they can log on and see. Who is that? See, I can't even see. Because I'm so what? Heather Shack. Okay, so let me just say something about Heather really quickly. Heather enjoyed you so much the first time that you were on the show. She was actually one of the ones that was like, no, she has to come back. And thank you, Heather, again. So I don't know, Heather, if you have a question, but we don't have a lot of time. But if you don't have a question that you want to pose, I just want to start off with a question that I've asked Rasheeda a million times before, which is what inspired her to do a dark-skinned woman's revenge. So in case y'all didn't hear the answer on my show, she can answer now.
Yeah, just my life experiences of wanting to tell my truth. That's really wanting to tell my truth.
In 1998, Rasheeda created Dark Skin Activism, which is the first movement in history to advocate for dark-skinned people, and called herself the Dark Skin Activist. Rasheeda created the phrases dark skin activist and dark skin activism. Rasheeda also coined the word darkism. She's the first person in recorded history to create a movement of this kind. She is the first artist, author, actress, YouTuber, and social commentator to focus her work only on dark skin, and has been doing so since 1998. She's written more books on dark skin than anyone in the world. Her books can be found at darkskinactivist.com. Rasheeda has been touring the country since 2006, giving darkism lectures and performances of her play. For bookings, go to darkskinactivist.com. Books include A Dark-Skinned Girl's Triumph, the Rashida Strober story, Darkism, 25 Ways Dark-Skinned People Are Discriminated Against, How to Be the Hottest Dark-Skinned Chick on the Planet, A Dark-Skinned Woman's Revenge, and Token Dark Girl, the It Dark Girl of the Moment. The 20-year legacy of the dark skin activist continues. For more information on Rasheeda's 20-plus years as the world's first dark skin activist, visit darkskinactivist.com. Share, donate, and subscribe. Okay, so good evening, everybody. Y'all know who it is. It is the world's first and only dark-skinned activist, the creator, the inventor, the architect, the designer of the first platform in history for dark skin, known as dark skin activism. And it's only right that I come on here and talk about this topic, because ever since I saw the headlines in the news, I said to myself, you know what? I had to actually be smart. I had to actually be up on my intellectual game to get into college. And if I wasn't, then it was no other way. And I thought back to what I had to go through to get into college, specifically graduate school. That's really what it's hit me at in my heart, graduate school. All the hard work that I had to go through to get into graduate school, even down to me having the correct credentials that I was supposed to have, and still being turned down for the program. It was actually two particular programs that I was turned down for, even though I had the proper credentials. And so when I saw this story about, I believe it's over 50 people who are involved in this college scam, because that's exactly what it is, I said to myself, this is a form of systemic economic darkism. This is exactly what I be talking about when I come to y'all and I talk about the different forms of darkism that takes place. This is clearly a form of systemic economic darkism, because these people, including the most famous people, I believe, because these two women, they're all over the headlines. Felicity Huffman, who's an actress, and Lori Loughlin, who's an actress. And Lori Loughlin is the actress that I know from Full House. She played Aunt Becky. Okay. They've been all over the headlines for buying, or should we say scamming, their kids' way into Ivy League schools. And when I thought back to my own experience, and I'm sure a lot of people, when they saw this story, they probably thought back to their own college experience. And for a lot of us, it's very difficult. And I can tell you right now, for dark-skinned people, my argument is that it's way more difficult than for non-dark-skinned people. And then when you add wealth, you add the money in there, it becomes even more difficult. Because if y'all think that the students, let's just put it like this, the white students, the non-dark students that were qualified and who lost the spot as a result of these people scamming, just think of the number of dark-skinned students who not gonna even get a chance. You don't stand a chance. You're dark-skinned and you ain't got no money. You can't buy your way into anything. It's 10 times worse. This, my friends, is systemic economic darkism. This is the darkism that I talk about that really impacts the life chances. And when we talk about life chances, we are talking about, and I want to attribute that term to Max Weber, the German sociologist. When we talk about life chances, we are talking about a person's chances in life to succeed, to live a good, decent life, which includes education. It includes a myriad of things, but in this case, education, because we all know that we have been taught that education is going to lead to a better life. I know that's what I was taught. That's all I heard. People say, get your education and you're going to live a good life. I'm not going to sit here and necessarily say that is always true, because there are some people out there that's educated that are homeless, but that's a whole nother story. But the point here is non-dark privilege was used to increase I would argue that the life chances of these white students that are a part of this. You already got good life chances by virtue of being born white. You already, but again, when you add on the wealth that you have, for your parents to add, it's like adding insult to injury. It's like adding salt on the wound. You already have privilege. You already have white privilege, but that's not enough for you. And the irony of it is, even with all your white privilege, you still cannot get into these Ivy League schools by the ethical means, in terms of taking standardized tests and scoring high enough to be let into these Ivy League. That's what really strikes me. That's the whole irony in all this. That's one of the major ironies in all of this. I mean, what are you doing? Because you know what? I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. Growing up, there was this sense in school among a lot of people, the teachers, parents, counselors, whoever, that white kids were smarter. Okay? That's darkism as well. I'm just telling you, that was the sense. That was the atmosphere. And I, as a dark-skinned woman, remember, I didn't have the problems with the white people saying you're black and ugly, but I had to contend with the facts and with the atmosphere that white kids are smarter than me. I had to wrestle and grapple with that. And so now we see that it's not true. Even with all this wealth, your parents are famous, they're rich, and you mean to tell me you can't hire a tutor to help your child, prepare your child for a standardized college entrance test? You got all this money. Y'all, let me go to this article here, because I want to make sure I give you guys some background. And by the way, real quick, I want to remind everybody that I will be doing a Darkism course coming up on April 23rd. Okay, please make sure you share this information, because the information needs to get out. Here's an example of systemic economic darkism, which is a phrase that I created in my book, and it is included in my book. Give me 1 second. Darkism: 25 Ways Dark-Skinned People Are Discriminated Against. And this is the book. And Darkism is a required reading. It is a required piece of reading, guys. So if you want to take the course, make sure you get the book Darkism. You can get it personally from me. It's $25 for a hard copy, or if you donate anything below $25, I will send you an electronic copy. And then the course will be taking place on April 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And anyone anywhere in the world can take this live course. This is very important in the times that we live in, that we understand what darkism is. All right, so let's look at this Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin situation. This is an article. I hate coming on to these websites that have all these advertisements on here. That is like so annoying to me when I'm trying to come on here. There we go. There's the article. This is from USA Today. And these are the two actresses right here that are in question. And they're not the only ones. There's around 50 people, but we're going to go through this article here, how the privileged legally game the college admissions process. Okay, so this is the one of the articles, one of many. Let's go down. Hold on, where's the article at? Because of all of these advertisements on here, give me 1 second. Let me go back here. I just don't understand why some of these websites have so many advertisements on here. I just want to read the article. Okay, so let's go back here to the article, and we're gonna talk about the specifics of what happened. And every dark-skinned person, I'm telling you, you should be paying attention to this, because if you think that like I said, the white kids who are actually qualified have it bad, let me tell you something. Hold on 1 second, guys.
It's kind of pricey.
Hi.
And then they play all these advertisements. I don't want the advertisement.
Purchases up over time with American Express.
Do you help you carry this to your car? Or?
Don't live life
Oh
without.
my goodness, y'all. I do not want the ads. I don't need the ads. Okay, so let's go over the article. So fake disabilities, Photoshop faces, how feds say celebrities, coaches, and scammers got kids into elite colleges. This is from USA Today. They fake disabilities. They Photoshop faces on different students' bodies. They paid millions in bribes. Feds say all a part of a scam to ensure kids from rich American families got into the nation's most selective colleges. And I'm going to be going back and forth between showing my face and showing y'all the article. I just want y'all to see who these people are. These are the two, I would argue, most famous people that are at the forefront of this scam because they are famous. Okay. We have Lori Loughlin. Like I said, she's the actress that played on Full House. She played Aunt Becky. And then Felicity Huffman. I believe Felicity Huffman was in Desperate Housewives. But they're both wealthy and famous actresses that are also married to wealthy men. They are privileged. They are very privileged is my point. Okay, so I'm going to stop the screen sharing because y'all know I love to show my face. And I'm going to keep reading the article. Okay, so they said, and they got caught. On Tuesday, federal authorities unveiled the results of a sting that could take down TV celebrities and college coaches. The scam required dozens of bribes of test administrators and relied on colleges' different standards for student athletes. William Rick Singer, the person at the center of the scam, described it more succinctly. He said, and I quote, "What we do is help the wealthiest families in the U.S. get their kids into school." Now, that in and of itself makes no sense. Why the hell do you need to help the wealthiest of the wealthy? I mean, I understand. I get it. A lot of people are saying this has been going on for a long time where the elites, they're able to get their kids into certain colleges. I get that. I get it. But, you know, we got to beg the question, why the hell do wealthy people need help? The last time I checked, I know when I was in college, I needed help with filling out the damn Pell Grant application. I needed help with housing. I needed help with food. I needed help with so many things. I'm trying to understand. You have all these advantages. You got the money, because money, folks, is really at the root cause of solving any problem. We're talking about things like going to college and all the expenses that come along with going to college. So I'm trying to understand, why the hell do you need help helping the wealthiest families get their kid into college? Oh, it's only one reason. Because they lied to us. Like I told y'all, in school, it was this atmosphere that said that the white kids, it was unspoken, but I'm not stupid. We're not stupid. We know when a situation is going on. It don't necessarily have to be verbalized, but we know when something is a certain type of way. So I had been taught and ingrained coming up in school from the time really of elementary school that the white kids were the smartest. Well, guess what? This incident right here is something that I've actually known, especially when I got to college. I figured this out. They're not the smartest. You're not. Just because you're white and wealthy and privileged, that does not mean that you are smarter than a non-white, non-wealthy student. This is a clear-cut case. But what it does mean is that you can exercise what I call darkism. If you are white with money, that's what it does mean. So these are the things that we need to understand in terms of being, they say we're minorities. I don't believe we're minorities. But in terms of being Black people, and in terms of a lot of us are raising kids, in terms of what our children are going to face, the competition is stiff. And it's not in terms of the real deal competition where you really got to go intellectually head to head with other students in order to come out on top. Because see, I've done that. I remember in school participating in all types of academic projects, like spelling bees, for example, oratorical contests. And I knew, because of that atmosphere that said that white students were smarter than me, I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. Nope, I was real competitive. And more than anything, I was competitive with myself. I was competing. I'm not really competing against anybody else. At the end of the day, you really are competing with yourself. But when we start to deal with college entrance where there's only a limited amount of seats, you are competing. You are competing academically. But as we can clearly see, you're not competing on a leveled playing field. And like I said, I feel for all the students, I don't care what color they are, that were disenfranchised as a result of the scam of these wealthy people whose children were apparently not bright enough for whatever reason to take the standards, to take these standardized courses. Give me a second, y'all. To take these standardized courses, standardized tests, and be admitted on the basis of their intellectual academic talents. I feel bad for all those students. But again, if you think that the white students who were actually qualified, if you feel bad for them, you should really feel bad for the dark-skinned, Black, disenfranchised students that are at the bottom. And I know, because I was at the bottom. I was one of those students. None of my parents didn't help me. My parents didn't help me do anything. They didn't help me to go and fill out the Pell Grant. They did not help. I did not have no support, zero. And I'm sure that this is the story of a lot of y'all out there that's watching. But I didn't have no support. If I didn't go into St. Petersburg College, because that's where I went to get my undergraduate, and then I went to the University of South Florida. If I was like, 20, 21, 22, whatever, I had to do imagine being that young and having to do, and a lot of y'all know about this, so you ain't even got to imagine it, having to do everything on your own. Nobody helped me. I was taking a bus to school. I was walking to school. I remember I had got kicked out of one of my apartment because I didn't have enough money, and I had to drop out of school. And there was a professor who I tried to explain this to who had gave me an F, and it went permanently on my transcript, and he did not care. It was nobody gave a damn. If I didn't do it for myself, it wasn't gonna get done. If I didn't go up into, I had to deal with every aspect of college life, from the financial aid to speaking with the counselors about my coursework to speaking with the professors. Everything was on me. No support, none, zero. Living, housing, all that. Food on Rashida. Nobody helped me. Nobody. And if my family is watching this right now, y'all could be mad. Y'all could be mad. I don't care. I'm here to speak my truth. Nobody helped me. It was my pure will and determination that kept me going back, getting in them long lines. I remember having to stand in long lines for financial aid, trying to understand this stuff, trying to navigate the applications. My mother didn't even want to give me the paperwork that I needed when I was filling out the Pell Grant. She didn't want to give it to me. I had to go to my dad, and my mom and dad, they have a 30-year age gap. So by this time, he was like really old. And he was on Social Security. I remember having to catch the bus with my dad to the Social Security office. He on his cane to go and get paperwork to show his income. Because I still believe they have it, if a student is under the age of 24, they're considered a dependent of their parents still. And you still have to go off of their income. I believe that that's the way it works. But no, you know, I was on my own. I had to literally beg and plead my parents, dealing with my dad who was so old. You know, it was hard for him to get out. My mama, she didn't want to do nothing. Some parents, unfortunately, some Black parents, they don't give a damn. They don't care. They're not going to help you. You're on your own. I'm one of those ones that's on my own. This is why I cannot have any sympathy for these rich white people who got all this money, and you could have hired a tutor. You could have hired a tutor to help prepare your child. That's the upper hand that you also have, having the funds to hire a tutor to help prepare your child for the SAT or for whatever standardized test. Shout out to my son Raheem. Because one thing I want to say, I got to interject. I'm kind of all over the place here, but hey, it is what it is. This is what I do sometimes. Real quick, I want to encourage you guys to make a donation to my Dark Skin Activist tour. Make a donation, make a donation, make a donation. You can give to my GoFundMe, and a lot of y'all know this already. Y'all need to give up them donations and support the Dark Skin Activists. Support my work. 20 years I've given and given and given and continuously given. I'm going to put the information there in the chat box. I put my GoFundMe link, and I also put my PayPal link. You can choose whichever one you want. If you donate $25 or more, I'll send you a hard copy of one of my books. Anything under $25, I will send you an electronic copy. So please go and make that donation. So pretty girl, just to catch you up to speed real quick, we are talking about the college scam that's going around right now. Felicity Huffman, actress Felicity Huffman, and Loughlin. They are two very famous, wealthy actresses that are at the center of this. It's been about 50 people arrested already for basically scamming and paying and bribing to get their children into Ivy League colleges. And this is an act of what I call systemic economic darkism, because if you think that it impacts white students that qualify to get in, it really impacts dark-skinned Black people, whether they be brown skin, light skin, but the dark skin ones, I would argue, are the ones that are really going to be impacted by this, because it's only a certain amount of seats. It's only a certain amount of seats. And what this shows is that white privilege and wealth runs this country. It really does. So I'm gonna come back to talking about my son, Raheem, and giving him a shout out, because I'm very proud of him for actually passing tests and not cheating. But let's get back to this article so that we fully understand what's going on here on Felicity Huffman and Loughlin. But again, folks, there's about 50 people who have been arrested in this college scam of bribery. So let's go and let's keep reading. Let's pick up where we left off. So the scam required dozens of bribes of test administrators and relied on colleges' different standards for student athletes. William Rick Singer, the person at the center of the scam, described it more succinctly. What we do is help the wealthiest families in the US get their kids into school. Boy, I have a problem with that statement. But these are the two actresses, the most famous ones, I would argue, that are at the center of this college scam. Let's keep reading. Here's how they did it. According to hundreds of pages of court documents detailing allegations, the anatomy of a scam. Bribe college exam administrators. The Edge College and Career Network would help set up bribes of administrators of exams like the SAT or ACT, federal prosecutors allege. In some cases, someone else took the test for the student. Y'all hear that? This is the anatomy of the bribe. This article is describing it. Let me read that again, because I'm reading this for the first time myself. In some cases, someone else took the test for the student. In other cases, the students were given answers during the test. Their test might also be revised after the fact. Oh my. Would you look at this? Let me stop right there. Bribing the college exam administrators. Bribing these are like the proctors, ladies and gentlemen, that they were able to bribe. These are the ways in which they were able to ensure these wealthy people with all this money, they were able to ensure that their students were able to get admittance into these Ivy League colleges without doing things the traditional way, like actually being able to take a test and pass it based off of your own intellect because you studied and you put in the hard work. But it's, the more I read about this, I'm absolutely disgusted. Let me talk about my son, Raheem, right quick. Y'all, I'm gonna go back and forth between the article and giving some commentary. I want to say shout out to Raheem because my son is very intelligent. And knowing that he's a Black young male, when he was born into this world, the first thing on my mind was straight up education, straight up and down. I taught him how to read using Hooked on Phonics to teach this. The public school system didn't teach my son to read, nor my daughter. I bought the Hooked on Phonics program and sat down daily with both of my children and taught them how to read. Right now, Lauren is on like about a second and a half, almost third grade reading level, and she's in the first grade. It's because I don't depend on the school system. Being Black, you can't do that. I call it supplementing. We can supplement. We can assist each other. But too many of y'all are depending on the school system to teach y'all kids. No. I taught my son how to read. I'm not good in math. And so I ran into a program called KUMA. I never did well in math in school, although I did take advanced algebra, geometry. I did take some advanced level math courses. But I wanted my children to be better in mathematics than what I was. So when I realized this, I think Raheem was around the 4th, 5th grade. I enrolled him into a program called Kumon. He went to Kumon for about 5 years. And I love Kumon because Kumon is about repetition and accuracy. You have to be repetitive and you have to get it right. And then they time you, when you get to certain levels, you go through certain levels. And I put Raheem in that program, the math portion. They have math and reading for 5 years. And this kid just excelled in math like it was nothing. And he would even, I remember I had him in private school, and the teacher would have him tutoring the other students. They're like, how you know all of this? And it was simply because it wasn't nothing special. It was because he was just every week, Tuesday and Friday, like clockwork. I would have to sit out in my car. Sometimes it's Florida, it's hot as hell. I would sit in my car for maybe an hour or two, whatever it took to make sure he went in there and got that math training straight up and down. And I highly recommend Kumon. It's a very great program. They start accepting children at the age of 3. And then I think when he got around, before he got to high school or when he was in high school, there's 2 Black male mathematical geniuses. One of the men I actually worked with at a school, he was an engineer by trade, and he was super brilliant in math from the islands. If you're watching this, I know sometimes you watch my videos, shout out to you and thank you for everything that you did for my son. He tutored Raheem. And I mean, Raheem didn't necessarily need the tutoring. I just wanted him to have it because I wanted him to, now remember, I'm not white and wealthy. You understand? But I was taking my extra money, spending it on my son and his education. Okay. I'm not wealthy at all, not one bit. But my priorities were about education because I knew that this was going to take him far. And just recently, Raheem took a high stakes test, score shot through the roof. Shout out to you. Very high stakes test that he just took that qualified him for a high level job. He's very brilliant in math, and it's thanks to Kuman. And it's thanks to the 2 black male tutors that tutor him. I would take him to meet with them. Well, one of the people I would take him to meet with like every week, and the other person they would do it like FaceTime, like we're doing like online. This guy was a PhD and he taught math. Very brilliant black men. So shout out to the black men that helped me to make my son brilliant in math. Also, I want to say shout out to Emma Alaba, who runs the STEM, this science, technology, and math program, the robotics. Raheem was in robotics for about 5 years. And one year he built a robot that was just amazing. I mean, he did an amazing, I think he came in second place, did an amazing job. He learned the actual programming, where he programmed these robots, and then he had to write out the different programs. I can't tell y'all what it was. It was a lot of math involved. But the point is the combination of paying for Kuman, hiring the black male tutors to come in. One was a PhD, one was an engineer to tutor my son. It literally made the child, he's not a child, a young man, brilliant in math to this day. Like he takes these tests, breezes right through it. No problem. That's not about bribing. I didn't have to bribe nobody. I ain't have to pay nobody to take the test for him. I ain't have to cough up money to some administrator or proctor to change the, we ain't gotta do none of that. It's fair and motherfucking square. And I take pride in that. And if you're watching this, Raheem, I want you to know, which I'm pretty sure you already know, I am very fucking proud of you. You're brilliant. You are brilliant. I am super duper proud of you and your intellect. And I want you to take that intellect along with good moral character and build up the black community. Get you a black wife, preferably a dark-skinned black wife, and contribute to the black community. This is what I taught you. This is why I put in all that work. And you put in the work too, because I could talk to him blue in the face, but he has to actually do the work. I homeschooled him. He would get, sometimes, you know how kids are, they'll get upset with you. I homeschooled him. I'd make him take classes year round. It was all revolving around math, the part that I couldn't teach him. I did teach him the writing part and the reading part. That came easy to me, but it all paid off because right now he can sit for any type of test and I already know he's gonna do well. But when you're honest and ethical, and I'm gonna even argue when you're poor, you have to do it the right way. You have to actually be smart for real. You understand? You have to actually apply yourself for real when you're dark-skinned and poor, or when you're dark-skinned and you have moderate. So if y'all see a dark-skinned, that's why I say, you see my son? Let me tell you something. You see him excelling and doing well, he's the real deal. I ain't paid nobody because I ain't got the money to pay nobody. Plus, I'm not unethical like that. When you see an intelligent doctor, black lawyer, especially a black person that's involved in STEM, science, math, technology, they're the real deal. They know what they're doing. Because you can't buy your way. We usually don't have the money. Systemic economic darkism. We usually don't have the money to pay somebody to bribe them. Or we usually don't have the money to pay for extra tutoring. For me, instead of me going out here buying outfits and I've always been like this, super duper frugal. Instead of me going out here spending my money on foolishness, I took my disposable income and invested in my son's education. Do the same thing with Lauren. Same thing. So, you know, when you see a dark-skinned person that's excelling, they're the real deal. I'm gonna give y'all credit. Sometimes I have my little beefs with y'all for plagiarizing my work, but I love to give people credit where it's due. If you see a dark-skinned person in a certain profession, especially like a doctor, a medical doctor, an engineer, they know what they're doing. You better respect them. You better put some respect on their dark-skinned name, and you better do it quick. Because I will defend them to the end because I know exactly what it is. I know what they have to go to. Ain't nobody paying for nothing for them. Ain't nobody bribing nothing for them. They're going to have to know they shit for real. For real. For real. Y'all, talking about this got me thirsty. Got me thirsty, got me hot. I had to just come on here and speak on this. I had to come on here and speak on this. Speak on it. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Shout out to, well, you know, I'm real. You said Black people need to quit sending their kids to trashy public schools. Well, you know, here's the thing. You have to be proactive. And I know that not every Black parent is going to stop sending their kids to public school. You're not going to do that. So what you do is you work in partnership. You don't sit there and solely depend on teachers to educate your child. You do your part. That is very, very important. You have to do your part. So let me go back to, because I want to finish reading this article so that we can all clearly understand what has gone down in this college scam situation. So let's go back. Let's go to one lie leads to another, which is the next section. To get to this point, often require more deception. These tests generally take place in large group sessions. Those students with disabilities are allowed extra time. They also can take the test alone. That meant parents would have to lie about their children having a disability. Shame on you. Shame. If you lying, if you wealthy and you know your kid ain't got no disability and you lying about that, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because I work with special needs kids. Kids with real disabilities. This is absolutely despicable. Let me keep reading. The students also had to take tests at sites where the network had control. Parents were told to fabricate a reason such as bar mitzvah or a wedding that would explain why they needed to take the test elsewhere. Wow. In one instance, a parent sent the network a handwriting sample from her child so staffers could better replicate the physical style of writing. The sample read in jagged letters, "To whom it may concern, this provides an example of my current writing style. Thank you for your attention." Wow, these people are terrible. Y'all have terrible character. Were the students in on it? That's a very good question to ask. Let's find out. Apparently, no. Many had no idea their parents were paying to illicitly alter their test. One key witness, thought to be Singer, said, "They're all kids that wouldn't have performed as well, and then they did really well." It was so funny because the kids will call and say, "Maybe I should do that again. I did pretty well, and if I took it again, I'll do even better." And that's another thing. They're giving these children. How could you do that to your own kid? Give your kid, because I don't think that the kid should be charged with anything. How could you give your kid a false sense of hope? I never wanted to give my son a false sense of, that's why I used to make him do the actual work. No, you got to get this for yourself. You're doing your child a disservice by lying to them. And that's why a lot of these white kids, they grow up with a false sense of bravado and a false sense of confidence because of things like this. You understand? Where, you know, they ain't had to put in no work. They ain't really put in no work, but now you got parents that's coming in, altering the tests that they've taken, making them think that this is their actual real result. You're frauding your own child. You are defrauding your own child. These people are just, it just doesn't, this just defies logic, y'all. And actually it doesn't. Actually it doesn't. Because, I mean, these people, obviously, they will do anything they can to keep their privilege. And that includes passing on the privilege to their kids. So they'll do whatever. So let's go back to the rest of the article. Were the students in on it? Okay, I read that section. So claim to be an athlete. That's the next thing they did to defraud. Universities and colleges who compete in sports nationally have special slots designated for student athletes. Typically, the academic requirement for such slots are less stringent than they would be for traditional students. The key witness described this process as entering through a side door. Where did the money go? Parents often would donate to charity set up by Singer, the Key World Foundation. The charity would then donate to coaches or to university programs chosen by coaches. The bribe in hand, the coach would then say the student was an athlete, regardless of his or her physical prowess. They got so many people in on this, y'all. Let's keep reading. Funneling the bribes through a charity also allowed parents to take tax deductions. Oh my God. So now not only are you defrauding the academic system, you're now defrauding the taxation system. You're now defrauding the IRS. Let's keep reading. This is the method the feds say Lori Loughlin, who played Aunt Becky on Full House, used to get her two daughters admitted to the University of Southern California. Loughlin and her husband paid USC officials to admit the daughters as crew recruits, even though they did not row completely, court documents say. But wouldn't people know the students weren't athletes? A cooperating witness told prosecutors they would simply fake athletic credentials. In some cases, they would stage photos of the students involved in the sports. In others, they would simply Photoshop faces of the students. They were Photoshopping faces of the students onto bodies of actual athletes engaged in real sports. These people are horrendous, in my humble opinion. Let's keep reading. In one instance, the student was said to have played for a team out of China. Sometimes the false sports credentials attracted attention later. A college advisor asked one such student about being in track. He wasn't on the team, but unbeknownst to him, his parents had arranged for him to be accepted to the college as such. So you're defrauding your child. You're embarrassing your child. And for what? Here's another thing I understand. I understand that people want to have their children do well, but stop trying to fucking live vicariously through your children. They're themselves. They have to live and make their own mistakes. That's why I said earlier, I used to be angry and bitter a lot because my parents did not help me navigate the college process, but it made me stronger. It made me a fighter. It made me tough as nails because I could take hits and rejection and get up, dust that shit off and keep going. Let's go. That's what you learn. You build character. And what I have is not a false sense of charisma, bravado, or whatever you want to call it. It's from my real deal struggle of having to handle the world and deal with it, bring it. That's what you really got to have. This is what I would tell my son. That's what I liked about Kuman. If they get it wrong, you don't help them. You mark it wrong and you say, here, go back and figure it out. So you're doing your children a disservice by making them think that they got into the college on a certain condition, whether it be academic or whether it be athletic, and then they get there and they're all built up according to the way you prop them up, and then you're embarrassing them because that's not the way things happen. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. With all this damn money, you still couldn't find a better way. This is absolutely despicable, y'all. Let me keep reading. So the student told the advisor he wasn't an athlete, but the exchange was still enough to worry the parent. So does that just follow him around on all of his records, she asked? The key witness, apparently Singer, said he didn't know, but that it didn't matter. I know a guy who got my kid into college. So how did parents sign up for the scam? Often Singer's customers would refer others. Oh, this was an inside ring here. How much did they pay? Clients of the network would pay between $15,000 and $75,000 per test. Woo, that's a pretty penny, y'all. In one case, the family of one student paid $1.6 million for admission to Yale University. Tuition at the university, along with fees, room and board, runs $72,100 annually. So you got all these people coming out of Yale, Princeton, and Harvard. They want us to believe that they're smarter. Obviously, we can see this is it. I'm not saying all, but some of y'all is bulk. Y'all are not that smart. You're not better. What you have is white privilege. What we have here is a case of systemic economic darkism. This is what this is. It's all about the money. We just looked at some monetary values here that was paid out to get some of these kids into the best of the best colleges. Again, with a false sense of intelligence. You didn't earn it intellectually. You earned it because your parents paid for it. I wouldn't want to be their child. I wouldn't. And then get caught up in that situation. So where I got to perform and I can't do it because my parents have bought my way in. I wouldn't want to be in that situation. I wouldn't want to be in that situation, y'all. But this again is what white privilege can do for you. I mean, it's a two-edged sword here, you know. And I just want to say I'm glad that whoever decided to make this story public, because I'm actually shocked that this story is getting all this publicity. Whoever decided to make this story public, I'm happy that it's been exposed, because it needs to be exposed. Students, college students, high school students, they need to see up close and personal how white privilege works, so that they are prepared to know that when our black parents talked about you have to work 10 times harder. I know black people have heard this saying like over and over and over throughout your life. I know I have. I've heard it so many times, more times than I can count. When we see instances like this, when black college students, when black high school students see instances like this, we know that this is what we might have to contend with. This is what we might have to face. It's not fair. And it's not fair that it's not fair. It doesn't feel good. It's a painful thing. But then you realize, you hold your head up high and you keep moving forward. There's a lesson in this as well, to continue to move forward, to continue as a student, whether you be in middle school, high school, college, to keep moving forward academically and to be honest, to be intellectually honest. I always talk about plagiarism, people ripping off my work on YouTube and social media. Here's an opportunity to say, you know what? I'm going to practice intellectual honesty. Here's an opportunity for those students. If I don't know what's going to happen with those students of these wealthy parents, if they're going to be kicked out of colleges or what, but if I was them, I would prove everybody wrong. You understand what I'm saying? If I really wanted to go to college, because you got to also look at the fact, do some of these kids really want to go to college? Is it their parents' dream or is it their dream? But if it's their dream, I would prove everybody wrong, that I can make it on my own merits, that I don't need you to pay for me to get into college. I don't need you to pay for somebody to take a test for me. I don't need you to pay to have a test corrected for me. I could do this on my own. This is a perfect opportunity to prove yourself. So I want to thank y'all for taking the time to watch. I also want to remind everyone that on April 23rd, I'm going to be delivering my first online Darkism course. I'm going to go to the course page right here. Anybody anywhere in the world, once again, you can take this course. I highly recommend you take it. It's going to be April 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Once again, that's April 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I would appreciate it if you shared this information with others. I'm going to be teaching this course live. I would appreciate it if you would like the video. I would appreciate it if you would make sure you subscribe. And also, I'm going to take the link here, so that those of you that want to go ahead and purchase the course right now, I'm going to go ahead and put the link inside the chat box. And the link is always going to be inside of the description to the video. I'm also going to ask that everyone go ahead and make a donation. And also, I want to reiterate and let everybody know that, hold on one second, guys. I want to also let everybody know that in order to take the course, you need to have read my book, Darkism, 25 Ways Dark-Skinned People Are Discriminated Against. So make sure you go ahead and get the book, Darkism, 25 Ways Dark-Skinned People Are Discriminated Against. And you can get the book at Amazon, or you can buy the book directly from me. Now, if you buy the book from me, it's $25 for a hard copy. If you want an electronic version that you can download, any amount below $25, you will be able to get access to the electronic version of Darkism, 25 Ways Dark-Skinned People Are Discriminated Against. And again, I'm going to go ahead and put my GoFundMe link, because that's how you're going to be able to make your donation. Or you can go to my PayPal, which is icecreamladydream@yahoo.com. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in there. And once again, I want to thank y'all for taking the time to watch this. I really wanted to come on here and say something about it because when I saw the headline, it was just burning my soul. And I'm like, oh my God, after all the things that I have gone through to get my college degree and putting in the real work of intellectual study, same thing with my son, putting in the work for him to be able to be prepared to take whatever test he needed to. And these rich, wealthy people come along and they do this. It just burned up my soul. So I had to come on here and speak about this. So I want to thank you guys for watching once again. It is the world's first and only dark skin activist, the undisputed queen of dark skin. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I thank y'all once again for watching. And I hope to see you guys on April 23rd to take my live Darkism online course. Y'all gonna absolutely love it. You're gonna learn a lot. So make sure y'all go ahead and save that date. And thank you very, very much for watching.
We don't make, none of us sleep, obviously, because we're all a little goofy. But again, you're in town. You got, your one woman play tonight.
Yes.
And you are what you describe yourself as a dark skin activist. Can you explain to myself and our audience what is a dark skin activist?
Absolutely. I'm the dark-skinned activist.
Okay.
No, I don't say that out of arrogance. I say it because people did not believe in what I'm doing. They thought it, in fact, all over social media, people said, what the hell is a dark-skinned activist? They still say it.
Right.
What are you talking about? This is crazy. But what dark-skinned activism came out of is my own life experience. Experiencing what I call darkism. I wrote a book of the same title called Darkism, 25 Ways Dark-Skinned People Are Discriminated Against. And what that basically is dark skin discrimination. And I honed in specifically on dark skin because people said, look, you need to just stick with black people. That's colorism. I created a new paradigm to speak specifically about what dark skinned people go through that's swept underneath the rug. And so I'm from the South, and darkism is thick and heavy down South.